The Parliament of St. Martin has had several meetings in the past months with regards to the finances of the country, in which the Central Bank, the Bankers Association, and government-owned companies have been invited to update Parliament on their current status. Regretfully, the Minister of Finance has informed Parliament in December 2020 that the draft Budget Amendment 2020 is still en route to Parliament and was currently being completed to be sent to the Council of Advice. Also, the draft Budget 2021 is still en route to Parliament and was also to be submitted to the Council of Advice. Parliament is awaiting both national ordinances, as the Minister of Finance has indicated it is expected that both will reach Parliament in the second half of February 2021, even though Parliament did request of government to present the Budget Amendment 2020 by August 1st, 2020, with a goal to bring the budget more in line with the developments surrounding COVID-19. In the area of legislation, amendments, and motions, etc., 2020, Parliament unanimously approved the initiative National Ordinance banning the import and use of plastic bags, plastic straws, and styrofoam. On September 28, 2020, Parliament passed a motion with 14 votes for and 0 votes against, which resolved to request the Kingdom government to revisit the World Bank agreements for government to establish a national public procurement policy regarding bidding for government-owned companies, and the NRPB. To also establish a policy to condition employment permits, and finally, that no machinery or heavy equipment shall be imported by foreign contractors once available locally. And all of this was to be executed by December 30th, 2020. Also noteworthy is a request from the Member of Parliament, Melissa Gums, to the Prime Minister to have the Social Economic Council conduct a study regarding lottery booths on the island and the socio-economic impact on the communities in which these booths are located and support to those who may suffer from gambling addiction. This study and advice is pending. We now go over to the recovery of St. Martin and COVID-19 situation. The reconstruction efforts on St. Martin have been ongoing. The Recovery Trust Fund and the NRPB. The trust fund was established, as you were told in the last IPCO, in April 2018, and all projects that are financed by the trust fund must be approved by the Council of Ministers and proposed by the steering committee of the trust fund. St. Martin, the Netherlands, and the World Bank are represented in this steering committee of the trust fund. All decisions of the steering committee, including decisions on the approval of new projects, require a full consensus among those 3 members. This, however, was not the case with the tax reform project, which was removed on the instruction of the Dutch delegate on the steering committee and carried out by the World Bank. In September 2020, Parliament concluded a public meeting with the Prime Minister regarding the NRPB and its functioning. It is in this meeting that the aforementioned motion was presented and adopted. In November 2020, government provided Parliament with an interim report of the NRPB, which covers the activities of the Bureau in the first 6 months of 2020. By the end of June 2020, the Trust Fund had 8 projects under implementation with a total value of $245.5 million. 5 of these projects are being coordinated and implemented by the NRPB with a total portfolio of $209.7 million from the Trust Fund and an additional $50 million from the European Investment Bank. These projects are an emergency recovery project, emergency income support and training project, emergency debris management project, airport terminal reconstruction project, and enterprise support project. The airport terminal project finances the full rehabilitation of the airport terminal building, with improved standards and is being implemented by the NRPB together with the airport project team. It is to restore passenger capacity of the airport to pre-hurricane levels with improved resilience towards hurricanes. The most recent timeline of June 2020 foresees the completion of the reconstruction works in the first quarter of 2023. Another project that has started in the Enterprise Support Project that supports eligible micro, small, and medium enterprises with access to financial packages for asset, small repairs, and working capital through local financial institutions. This project caters to both existing MSMEs and startups. Several companies have already received support from this project. The other three are the Hospital Resiliency and Preparedness Project, implemented by the St. Martin Medical Center, Red Cross Roof Repair by the Red Cross Netherlands, and the Civil Society Partnership Facility for Resilience Project by V&G International. By the middle of 2020, the Trust Fund had 6 additional projects under preparation with an estimated value of $135.6 million, of which the NRPB is involved with 5. The Resilience School project is in preparation, and Parliament has recently received a technical briefing on this project, which has as objective to restore access to a safe education, learning, and cultural environment, and improve resiliency of St. Martin's education system. It will look at rebuilding safe schools, resorting a community learning and cultural environment, and strengthening the ministry's management information system. The other projects in the Child Protection and Development Project implemented by UNICEF for $5 million. The general sentiment living in the population of St. Martin, but also here among various members of Parliament, is that the construction that was chosen for the recovery and the disbursements of the recovery funds has not been working effectively. Schools are still to be repaired after 3 years. The Committee of Education, Culture, Youth and Sports invited the Prime Minister along with the NRPB for a technical briefing on the projects related to schools, in which process and procedures were explained to members. Members of Parliament continue to convey to government that projects need to get moving. Parliament also motioned that the World Bank agreements should be revisited because, as mentioned in the previous IPCO, various reports have shown that the pace of the reconstruction is extremely slow. Furthermore, there are also lessons to be learned from the World Bank construct for any future agreement, including the possible plans for the so-called cohort.
I will just make a short and brief statement to everyone. Last year, 6 months ago, I emailed a package to everyone explaining to actually to show that the decolonization process is not finalized. It's a simple thing to do. Just take UN Resolution 945, read that. Read the resolution assigned to the Dutch Caribbean islands, and also read the resolution assigned to maybe Puerto Rico or Greenland, that also is a so-called associates listed as associates. I'm going to post my email once more in the chat. If you want my information, if you want my research, send me an email and I'll send it directly to you. But we just recently established a decolonization committee. We're going to start the meetings in this coming month. We're simply pulling resources, pulling information together, and in a couple months we will have an annotated document that we will present to you. So give us an opportunity. It's our right to do what we want to do for this country. Actually, also, it's not the fact that we're looking and seeking for independence, because 10 years ago, had we requested to become a gemeente, had we requested independence, had we requested to be an autonomous country, either way, 75 is not completed. The resolution was never updated. So go to Resolution 945, read it, and understand it for yourself. I'll be posting my email in the chat. Thank you, everyone.
We have now bid 2020 farewell, and for many, we have said goodbye to a very challenging year. Nevertheless, it has been another year for which we must still be grateful, another year that we have been able to live, love, and enjoy laughter with family and friends. I take this time to wish all our residents and the visitors of St. Martin a blessed and happy 2021, filled with gratitude and faith for a brighter future. The world, and St. Martin is no exception, has faced its biggest challenge of late, combating a global pandemic, COVID-19. With this challenge, St. Martin now understands how we have to deal with this COVID-19 virus compared to when we started our response measures back in March of 2020. As such, we must, and I must reiterate that we must as a country to be able to move forward, embrace this new normal safely and responsibly so that we can protect our most vulnerable within the society. As mentioned before, 2020 meant losses and challenges for many. However, despite all these challenges, the government of St. Martin continues to work with our kingdom partners for the betterment of our people and the sustainability and growth of our nation's economy. This will require all hands on deck, all minds in a frame of positivity and in believing with faith that we will indeed see better days within the foreseeable future, but that indeed it is up to us and each of us have a role to play. In positive news, yesterday during our Council of Ministers meeting, we pleasantly surprised Ms. Celia Raquel Illis by summoning her to the Council of Ministers meeting, which was ongoing. In the presence of the ministers, her department head, Ms. Ingrid, and the Secretary General of the Ministry of General Affairs, Mr. Plantain, Ms. Illis was honored with the Civil Servant of the Year 2020 award. This is the first of its kind, and she was able to, in the midst of emotions, receive a crystal award as well as a gift box with a collection of locally handmade gifts. The Civil Servant of the Year Award Committee will be established to process one nominee per ministry for the next award in order to be able to select the candidate as the winner based on set criteria. That is in the interest of transparency moving forward. However, as a Council of Ministers, we could not allow 2020 to close amidst all the challenges and not highlight someone that stood out, not just for the Ministry of General Affairs, but for each and every minister who agreed that Ms. Raquel Illis is the person that shone for the most part especially during the COVID period, but for the year 2020, and many can attest for entire years of service to the government of St. Martin. The goal is that, well, there are many civil servants, of course, who go above and beyond the call of duty, who also receive recognition within their departments and or their ministries. The goal is to continue to do so In fact, we're encouraging all department heads to highlight who is their top performer, service-oriented civil servant, and culminate at the end of the year with a Civil Servant Award. The picture wall of recognition with each recipient from this year on in will be established within the government administration building as well to continue that recognition throughout the year. We continue to encourage all civil servants to do their best and convey our congratulations to Ms. Ellis, Raquel, as she's fondly known, on this great achievement. She is indeed an example of dedication, humility, and commitment to excellent work for the government of St. Martin and by extension, the people of St. Martin. I'd like to take this time also to update that indeed the State Secretary Knops is currently on a working visit to the Caribbean, the Dutch Caribbean, and is scheduled to arrive on St. Martin later this evening for a working visit where he will attend a series of meetings on Thursday with the Minister of Finance and myself, His Excellency the Governor, as well as other relevant ministers and organizations related to the reconstruction projects and programs currently underway. State Secretary Knops is scheduled to leave the next day. However, a small delegation of about 2 persons will be remaining until 12th or 13th next week, so that continued meetings or the meetings will continue with the representatives of St. Martin's temporary work organization set up to start the discussions on meeting the conditions for the third tranche. The meetings with the State Secretary will also be held with the Dutch representative and our SG platform. The SG platform, which has been approved yesterday in our Council of Ministers, was created to execute the plan of approach for the country packages and the structural reforms, and will call on each ministry with their ministers and SGs to put their best foot forward in order for us to make a reality all of the plans that are in the works. The government of St. Martin, and by extension, the civil servants, the SGs, department heads, ministers will play a large role in meeting these conditions, in ensuring that the programs and projects has the interest of St. Martin first and foremost, and has our input from the beginning. So I encourage each and every one involved in the process to keep your minds open, ensure that St. Martin's voice is heard in these discussions, and that the timelines we set are realistic and achievable, are smart in total. So I look forward to the discussions moving forward, and that we can get the most out of these reforms, programs, and projects.
May we continue to, as Council of Ministers, continue to work in the best interest for our country. And I'm hoping that we are able to see the effects of the vaccine and also the effects of our protocols, so we are able to jumpstart our economy way faster than even we expected or wanted. I'd like to give an update on the SRP. The deadline for the business payroll registration is January 8th. Payments will begin the week after. I also like to advise all business owners to register now if they haven't already done so. And my final update in regards to the budget 2021. The budget 2021 is being reviewed by the CFT currently.
innovative Banco Matico contactless smart card. Your Banco Matico smart card is now equipped with a contactless feature for payments, so get ready to tap and go. Contactless payments are fast, easy, secure, and accepted worldwide at all Maestro-enabled contactless terminals. Tap for transactions equivalent to or less than 100 NAF, or the US dollar equivalent. You will receive notifications via email anytime you tap. Tap, tap, and pay fast with WIB. For more information, visit our website at wib-bank.net. Tap and go with your partner in progress.
How are you doing this morning? Good. So, Rebecca, thank you for coming. I work as a psychologist at the Mental Health Foundation. I mainly see children and adolescents, but I also see adults. So whenever there's a crowd, that's when you're starting to feel
nervous.
Okay.
Nauseous.
Okay, it's kind of like your body. We are so used to taking care of our body. If we have a little ache in our foot, we know to rest it. We know, okay, I might have walked too much, so I need to rest. Now, of course, that can be just an ache in my foot, but I can also break my leg. Now, for breaking my leg, I would have to go to the doctor. So that kind of goes the same for mental health illnesses. So you can come in for something little as, I'm really stressed out lately. What would you need? A little bit of rest. But someone can also come in with way more difficulties. We're not here to judge right or wrong, good or bad. Is it helpful for you? Fine. Is it not helpful for you? Okay, then let's see what we can do about it. But not a wrong nor right, absolutely not. It's a magnifying glass without judgment.
Well, there's still a lot of stigma on the island, unfortunately. It's not a topic that people easily talk about, and that's a shame. They're afraid that they get judged, and there is still quite a bit of judgment. I mean, often we hear, don't go to that crazy house. Once you go in, you never go back. And it's just not true, We treat a lot of patients here, and a lot of them we get back on their feet.
Our goal at the Mental Health Foundation is for us to help you improve your life, for you to live a better, happier, and fuller life.
In reference to the fire on the Irma landfill, which occurred on Saturday, January 2nd, 2021, I hereby inform you that the fire has been contained. On Friday, January 1st, incoming reports indicated heavy smoke deriving from the Irma landfill in the midst of high wind caused by the passing tropical depression. Personnel of the Department of Infrastructure Management arrived on site and reduced the spread of the smoke. In the early morning hours of Saturday, January 2nd, more reports indicated a fire on the landfill. Personnel of the Department of Infrastructure Management immediately arrived on the scene and worked together with the contracting companies and the Fire Department of St. Martin, along with assistance from the Fire Department of the Collectivité of St. Martin to mitigate the fire and the thickness of the smoke. A full assessment confirmed that the fire was deriving from the same location as the previous day. The water pumps remain in use to control the fire-prone areas on the landfill to prevent further flames. During this week, the department will continue to apply all efforts to mitigate and prevent further surface fires. I would like to thank the Department of Infrastructure Management and the contracting companies, as well as the Fire Department of St. Martin and the one of the Collectivité, for their due diligence and hard efforts to combat the fire and the joint effort that was displayed on Saturday. Lastly, I would like to update the general public on the continuation of phase 1 of the 2020 road maintenance project. The project, which started on Wednesday, December 18, 2020, is back and is focused on making the necessary improvements to our road network. Today, on the 6th of January, there will be an interruption to the traffic flow in the Soccer Garden area due to the roadworks being executed. The roadworks will be conducted during the evening hours. Motorists are advised to pay keen attention to their safety and the safety of the workers. I thank the community for their continued patience and apologize for any inconvenience that this may cause. For further updates, we will be providing it on the government website as well as the Brummy Facebook page and all other mediums.